Let's get the ball rolling. Welcome to Puro Pinche Sports. I'm your host, Garza. Whoa, I butchered that one badly. Anyways, guys, happy Memorial Day. Guys, along with me today is a former guest, a guy we are hoping that he will be around more often. But of course, he is a new DAD. He is a dad. He will be busy taking care of his family. Guys, along with me tonight is Trey Parker.
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, brother? How's your Memorial Day?
Man, just relaxing, hanging out with the baby. So,
hey, man, that's all we can do when we have young ones. We
yes,
can only
sir.
do so much.
Yes, sir.
All right, Trey. You're a big basketball fan. You're a Spurs fan, but you love basketball. You love the NBA. The finals are kicking in. We've got the two teams settled in: Golden State Warriors, Boston Celtics. Talk to me. Give me a grade level between 1 to 10. Like, how are you feeling for these finals?
Man, I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. I wish Dallas would have made it in, but Golden State is Golden State. The only concern that I have is if Boston plays like they played against Miami, I don't know if they're going to beat them. Golden State is a headhunter, and they're good. So we'll see how it goes.
I completely agree with you, man. I mean, it's just going in for like me. I see, like, for me, rating wise, it's like a 8 out of 10. You know, it's nice to see the Warriors back in the finals because they're a beast that has really, besides the 2016 finals, they never got beat, without, an asterisk or something. That's
Yeah.
what everyone's going to give for the Raptors win is that, well, you don't win if KD goes down. You don't win if Clay goes down. So it's nice to see that they're back on top, and now we get a more better opportunity with the more healthier Celtics to see if they not come down. Tell me your thoughts right now on what Jason Tatum has elevated this team, the Celtics, into becoming.
Oh man, become a playmaker. He's become a star. Like Game 7, dude, he held it down. Luckily, they were well rounded and they had multiple people in that double digit range points. But he clutched it up in the end and just kept pushing, kept pushing, kept pushing. I think they realized they should have won at home in Game 6, but he's definitely stepped it up in the last couple games.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's seen his growth. Just, I mean, mind you, he's like one of the picks, like coming from the Nets trade for Paul Pierce for KG, and what he's elevated himself to being through the drama of Kyrie Irving being on the team, through Brad Stevens, being a good coach, and then his departure, or promotion per se, and now he's pulling through this team. The Celtics overall started pretty mid, kind of bad in the season. I think their record was like 23-23. They're a 500 team at a certain point. What impressed you from their point of view to making it here? What changes did they make in your eyes to get them to become the Eastern Conference champions?
Well, first off, I got to shout out Ime Udoka, man. That Spurs alum, bro. But he definitely changed. I noticed he changed in this, especially in this last series, and obviously other games, the way his lineup was. So he saw what they needed to fix, and he fixed it. Um, like for example, Grant Williams got taken out a little bit more, and they kind of played a little small at certain points, and then when he realized they needed a big, they threw him back in there with a little momentum and played like that. But man, they got a lot of talent around them. I really, really hope that they step it up because I would love to see Tatum, Derek White, obviously, former Spur, Ime Udoka, all those guys, uh, you know, catch that dub. So they definitely just keep pushing.
Who's going to be the biggest key factor outside of Tatum, outside of Brown, outside of Smart? Who's going to be the biggest factor to really like bring out the best out of the Celtics? Is it going to be their six-man Derek White, as we mentioned? Is it going to be a Grant Williams? Who do you believe?
I think Derek, man, he definitely, man, that dude can shoot, bro. Everybody knows that from the Spurs. He also has stellar mentality. He has a good drive, and he wants to win. Obviously, he's been a part of a winning organization for a while now. So I definitely could see Derek stepping up for sure.
Derek White has definitely stepped up for the Celtics, and you can see more recent with his playoff games. He brings in that intensity that you can use when Marcus Smart needs his rest. Taking the charges, being that menace with with the steals and stuff. Is very underrated as far as a defender. I mean, we as Spurs fans, we know how good he can be as a defender. The
Definitely.
problem is, though, everyone else doesn't. If you listen to a Mark Jackson on, our broadcast, they say he's a defensive liability. No, he's not. He is
No.
a menace. He is a guy. Maybe if they switch up on him and they put a big on him, of course, it's going to be
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler just a fucking beast. Let's go with that.
Yeah. No
Before we
joke.
transition to the Warriors, the Western Conference champions, what were your thoughts on the Miami Heat run up until this point?
God, man, that was another team that I was like pushing for. Actually, I like Jimmy Butt. I like Tyler Hero. Obviously, he was out. I think it was like 3 games or something like that for the groin injury.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was sad to see, but I really did like that Miami Heat team. I thought they did really well. Later on in the season, so that was really cool to see him in that final area.
Playoff Jimmy is an animal. I mean, I don't
God,
think
monster.
anyone can deny that. What are your thoughts on them moving forward? Clearly, Coach Spolstra, decided, Duncan Robinson's really not part of their rotation anymore. He started pulling more for Victor Oladipo. What do you see for their future? And do you see them coming back and possibly hitting the finals one more time?
I think they can. If obviously this offseason they get healthy again, get their core back. Same concept like I just mentioned. Hero obviously wasn't 100%. He's a shooter. He's a baller. Yeah, I noticed Duncan Robinson was definitely pulled a lot, and I could kind of see why he wasn't really covering all ends. You know what I mean? And that's a big deal now. But other than that, man, I think they could easily push for another, maybe not the finals, but in that vicinity of the playoffs.
For sure, man. I mean, who knows? Maybe Joel Embiid will force a trade to Miami. Nah.
Right?
That'd be a lot of fun. But all right, Golden State, the Warriors are back in the finals, sixth time within the last 10 years. So shoot, I mean, it's what, 8 years? Sixth time in the last 8 years they're back in the finals. A lot of people, including good old Marco Monreal, had the Warriors done. What were your thoughts after KD went down and then left, and then Clay went down with both his nasty injuries, the Achilles and ACL?
Man, obviously everybody did count him out for sure, and I mean I'll include myself in that. I didn't think that they would be much, but I'm not gonna lie, dude. Andrew Wiggins has killed it for them. And then obviously Steph is Steph, and Clay came back a freaking monster too. I was real worried about him just because of injuries and everything, but he came back with a vengeance for sure. So it is cool to see them back in it. Like I said, I'm just a hater, I guess, but it's cool to see them back in it. It's the fans, you know what I mean? It's the fans that I'm just
Of
like, dude,
course.
you don't know the Golden State from back in the day with Baron Davis and the Lance Stevens, all that jazz. You don't know them. So other than that, man, I'm really happy to see them. It's gonna be a great series. I just hope Boston can hold up
Props to the loyal Warriors fans. I give y'all
for
props for
sure.
sticking around during the dark times. The the current Warrior fans who were the LeBron James Heat fans, who were the LeBron James Cavalier fans. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to chill. Y'all
Yeah.
talk too much. Stop throwing things at Charles Barkley. He definitely deserves it, but stop it. Stop it. Just don't do that. Um, Warriors are back in. We saw what they did against the Mavs, kind of basically a gentleman's sweep, 5 games. What who is gonna have to be, let me see, I guess taken out, not physically, of course. I'm just
Of
saying
course.
out of their rhythm to make it a more even game here because we have some of the best defenders in the Celtics side.
Obviously Steph is numero uno, but that's the given one. I think the underdog one will either, and I know it's kind of not picking one, but either Wiggins or Thompson. Now Draymond Green is a facilitator for sure, but I don't think you can stop him. I really don't. He's very smart. I hate the dude with a passion. You could ask Christy. I hate him, but he is a facilitator, so I don't know if you're going to stop him. But if you stop the people he facilitates to, he's not as good with shooting and so on and so forth. So I think either Clay or Wiggins, one of those two, will definitely be the guys that you got to hold both of them off their game. Steph is going to get his shots. Draymond's going to get his assists and rebounds. If you stop one of the other two, I think you might have a shot. So I would definitely love to see. I'm pretty sure they're going to put Smart on Curry. I would assume, unless he's in foul trouble, and then I would assume Jalen Brown would go on Clay, and then put Tatum on Wiggins or so on. Maybe even Draymond. But I think the athletic dudes need to stay with the athletic dudes type deal. So
What are your thoughts on the possible X factor who's been rising huge this year in Jordan Poole? What are your thoughts on him?
dude, he's actually been nice. I'm not gonna lie at all. I think he's still young in the sense that he does panic. You
Hmm.
kind of saw it. I think it was game 4, maybe. He kind of tried too hard to be like Steph. And don't get me wrong, there are some things he does that is Steph esque, but he's got to know his strengths, and he's still learning, obviously. So I'm impressed with him, though. I really am. He was actually really solid.
The Warriors, last time they met the Celtics, that kind of started this, the downward spiral as far as like Steph, ankle injury before the playoffs again.
Mhm.
Marcus Smart and him went for a ball. He rolled his ankle. Are you concerned as far as injury wise let's say honestly both teams? Who's your major concern injury wise going into this finals matchup?
Man, I honestly, I really don't know injury wise to be completely serious. I think both of them are starting to get back under their legs. The only one that would concern me is again Clay's just injuries from the past, in that sense. But yeah, I really don't know to be completely serious.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to really guess right now, I mean, they've been in most of the postseason. As far as the Celtics side, they've been without Robert Williams. He's been the one that's really sat on the sidelines. As long as God forbid, Steph Curry rolls ankle and something happens, I don't see the Warriors really struggling too much on injury wise. I mean, they have a lot. They have a few guys out, like their last year's rookie James Wiseman. Who's the young man that got hurt? Gary Payton II got hurt a few
That one was
series ago.
brutal, dude. That was bad.
That was disgusting. Now this season's split between the two teams. They're 1-1. Your official prediction, Trey, right now. Give me your thoughts on Celtics versus Warriors. Official prediction.
I'm gonna have to go Warriors in 6. That's as
What's
much as
your
it hurts to say.
all right? That's your brain. Now, what's your heart? What you want it to be?
What do I want it to be? I want it to be Celtics at least, and I mean, honestly, I want it to go 7. So I'd love to say Celtics in 7, man. That would be sick. Even Celtics in 6, I'd be happy with. But uh, obviously, it's a dream. I don't know if it's gonna happen again. The way Boston played at the end, Miami was a solid team. Don't get me wrong; they're obviously in that final season for a reason there. But if they try to stand a chance against the Warriors, dude, there ain't no way they can play like that. No way,
Who do you think out of the Popovich tree is going to be the better coach? Is it going to be a
dude.
Steve Kerr
I
or
knew you
Ime
were gonna
Udoka?
ask that, man. I knew you were gonna ask that. Steve Kerr's the goat, bro. I'm sorry, but I like the way Emu Udoka has stepped up in coaching. He's definitely learned a lot from
First
Pop. You
year
can
too.
tell. You can tell he's learned a bunch. Because obviously, when Pop would get thrown out or whatever, Ime would step up and be the coach.
Hmm.
But no, I really, dude, I like Ime a lot. I think he's gonna be a great, great coach. In the NBA for a while.
So much is going on with the sports world as far as developing, bringing in new stars international wise. But I'm just wondering right now, Trey, what can the Celtics really do? Where are you going to stop them? Because you're not going to stop them in the threes. So where else are you going to force them to be uncomfortable?
I think, like you were mentioning earlier, with what's his face Williams.
Hmm.
Um, I think their size could be a big factor. They do have length. Don't get me wrong, but I think the size, body size, is a little concerning, in my opinion. Um,
Hmm.
I just, again, going back to it, you got Draymond Green, a big body. You got Kevon Looney, who's been actually crushing it. In the past series or two. It's just that's my biggest concern is their size, if they can match up.
We saw yesterday Jason Tatum wearing the Kobe
The Kobe's.
Bryant, yeah,
Mhm.
armband around him rather than his usual green one. What are your thoughts on Jason Tatum's, determination to get this kind of win for Kobe? A mentor of his, someone that he idolized for.
I mean, that's he tweeted out too saying I'm playing this one for you or something to that effect, but that was definite Mamba mentality, bro. Like this is do or die. I gotta go in and get it. So I think that'll definitely play a factor. I just hope he keeps his drive and his momentum and his passion up because again, they're gonna need it. They're gonna have to have him as a leader, just like Kobe. Uh, you go on the sidelines and everybody's playing around and this that, and the other. You got to focus type deal. So I do like Tatum a lot. I've liked him for a while. He's a very very good player. So I'm excited to see it, man.
I haven't had a chance to really ask you this since we're on the subject right now. What were your thoughts? Now over 2 years ago, what were your thoughts on Kobe's passing and what his legacy left behind for the
God, dude, I
NBA?
can't believe it's already been that long. Definitely sad. Obviously, there's going to be those haters, and I was a Kobe, not hater, but a you love the player, hate him type person. You know what I mean? Because
True
he's a good
rival,
person.
true
Yeah,
rival.
they exactly. But it was definitely sad to see, not only him but his daughter, super young girl, had a bright future with not only school but athletics as well, and then all those
Mhm.
other people involved. It was definitely sad to see an icon passing for sure.
In the 2000s, who was better, Tim Duncan or Kobe Bryant?
Oof, ooh. In general, or are we talking about positions?
In
uh,
general, in general,
man, I'm sorry, I
because
gotta
it
go Timmy. Timmy's goat, bro. I gotta go Timmy.
because it's always going to be an argument, right? We've had
Oh
like
yeah,
the 80s was Magic or Larry Bird, the 90s just MJ, the 2000s
yep.
Timmy and Kobe. I mean, they dominated. Kobe said it best in his previous interviews before he passed, even on the After the Smoke podcast. He said, "If it wasn't for Tim Duncan, if it wasn't for those players, I would have won more titles."
Oh, 100%.
And I truly believe that. And I say vice versa, the same way. I mean, you love the passion that both teams brought against each other. They eliminated each other so many times in the playoffs. It's just the intensity was real.
No, for sure. It was definitely that brotherhood. Like, okay, you're gonna win, I'm gonna win. You're gonna win, I'm gonna win type deal. So it was good.
Going back to the NBA finals, so let's go on NBA playoffs. What were your thoughts on the new award that came out? The MVPs for the West and MVPs for the
I
East. Do you
think
think
that's
that's
kind
a
of
good
cool.
concept?
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool because it even if you don't win the MVP of the actual, final championship, series, it gives them a little bit of something extra, what do you call accolade wise, I guess. So
Hmm.
it's kind of cool to definitely see that and the people that they named it after, to shout them out, especially. So I think it's a cool mixture into the award ceremonies that NBA already has. So I did like that a lot.
I mean, do you have any issues with the people that were named, like an Oscar Robertson, the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Bob Cousy? Did you think that maybe someone else might have been a better option for one of the names, or did you get it right?
Uh, I want to. In my heart, I think they got it right. You think about the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, and you think about those guys. The big dogs, like you said, the Larry and the Magics. So I think they did pretty well. What's your thoughts on that one?
I think they did pretty well. I know that he's an active player still, but it's kind of tough to look at an Eastern Conference either title or MVP and not say LeBron James. As
Yeah,
crazy as it might be, because he did go pretty much all the 2010s to the finals every year.
yeah,
It's really tough. Of course, he's an active player right now. I'm pretty sure
and
there's
I
going to be
think that's maybe
something.
why
Mhm.
maybe that's the reasoning behind it because he's so active. That's the only thing I can think about at least. So
Does LeBron James make it back to the finals ever again?
Um, in my
Like,
honest opinion, no, I
no.
don't think so. I don't like the Lakers this year just crumbled. And mind you, yeah, they were injury prone and injury ridden and everything. I get that, but I also, if he stays with the Lakers, I don't know what they're gonna do to build around him. If they trade like they've been talking, obviously there's rumors, right? Rumors
Yeah.
galore. If they trade, I don't know if he's going to go to the right place to build and work up for that. Um, Now, mind you, he is still super athletic. He's still a really good player, but I don't see him personally making it. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tough to see, especially with the West getting deeper and deeper.
Well, and that's the
Um,
biggest thing. I saw a stat that said, he made the Eastern Conference, finals every year for I want to say it was like 10 years or something to that effect. And then he comes to the Western Conference. And mind you, he's made it, I think it was 10 years, something like that. I don't remember the exact math.
eight,
Um,
eight
is
was
it
it? I
eight?
think yeah.
Yeah. And then he came to the West and he's made it a couple times, don't get me wrong. But me personally, I don't believe the bubble myself. I don't think the bubble is I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't a real season to me personally.
I got affected, of course, with everything that happened pandemic wise.
Exactly. And
Absolutely.
there's a lot of things that the factor wise.
Now,
But there
question
it shows the
because of
West
that,
Conference.
do other how do you feel about the other seasons in the past, like the 20? I want to say it was the 2013, the 2012, and the 1999 seasons. They were shortened seasons themselves. Do you see them as an asterisk titles as well, or nah? Or
I
just this
guess
one because of what the circumstances?
I think personally this one because of everything else around it. Like, yes, those were shortened, but all the conditions that got put into it, like the bubble and the no fans, obviously that makes a huge difference for certain players, right? Some people play for the game, some people play for the fans. So it's a different concept. Now, yeah, they have the virtual, but that ain't the same, man.
Mhm.
Um, us being right here virtually talking is way different than me and you actually talking in person.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I do see what you're saying, but I personally think that this one was different just because of that aspect.
Understood. Understood. Um, don't want definitely, Bubble Dame has not been the same since, but interesting question. You had a very enthusiastic response to this. Was Jimmy Butler's shot a bad shot at the end of the game?
100%.
Game 7.
100%. He literally could he had a big man on him. He could have done an in and out and gone around him for an easy dunker layup. To I mean, right then and there. Like why? And I get his thought. He wants to pull up, he wants to get ahead, so on and so forth. But he easily had a big on him, in and out, go around him, and gone. So I do 100% think it was a terrible shot. 100%.
Do you think he was just gassed because they asked him to play the entire game? He did not take
Yes.
a break.
Yes. Yes, 100%. I know that's a big factor into it. Um, but man, it just sucks right at the last moment you had that opportunity. And I'm
Yep.
pretty sure it's funny because I saw him after the game. He was, laughing and smiling, which obviously they're all friends to an extent.
Hmm.
They all hang out with each other, talk to each other. Um, but a part of me could tell that he was kind of relieved, or it seemed like it. I don't know for sure, but it seemed like he was relieved that they didn't win because of what they didn't expecting of him for sure.
Absolutely. I know Bam Adebayo tore up his jersey after in the back after the
I liked
game.
Bam too. That was sad, but
Bam is very very emotion hot ridden high ever since Pop cut him from Team USA, a couple of years ago, and but he's gotten better since. That pushed him to
yes,
strive to be one of the great bigs out there. I mean, he's
for sure.
not the tallest out there, but he's very very strong, very emotional, very.
Yeah.
You just want a guy like Bam on your team.
Oh, for sure.
All right, let's see here. Talk to me about the runner-ups for the Western Conference Final. Talk to me about the Mavericks. Talk to me how you feel about them.
Man, I feel so bad for the Mavericks and Luca and Kid and all them. Man, it's crazy. You look at the team that is built around Luca, and he really doesn't have. Now, mind you, there's a lot of good players on that team.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer Dinwiddie stepped it up. What's his name? The little
Jalen
point guard,
Brunson. Oh
Brunson.
no.
Brunson killed it.
Mm-hmm.
But who is his other teammate? Who does he have? So, for example, you have Jimmy Butt, who has Lowry, who has the Bam Adebayo, who has these guys.
Tyler
Steph
Hero.
Curry has Clay, Draymond, Andrew Wiggins. Jason Tatum has Jalen Brown, Marcus Smart, all these guys. Who does Luca have?
Do you see this as the Mavericks need to find people for Luca, or
100%.
because here's my notion on it. As long as it keeps going the way it is, he's just going to be the Mavericks James Harden, the way he was
Yeah,
for the Rockets.
I can
Just
see
one
that.
guy who, you try to put a star with him, and I mean like Porzingis, but Porzingis at that point was just a shell of himself. Um, because he does have the one of the highest usage percentages out there. He has the ball, the plays are called for him, and he creates a lot of great opportunities. But if the guys can execute, I mean, these guys. Who do you see probably going into the free agency coming up this season? That is something that would be good for him. There's a lot of rumors of a Zach LaVine leaving Chicago. There's a lot of rumors of DeAndre Ayton leaving the Phoenix Suns. What are your thoughts on what they could add? And is this something that would actually benefit Luca or would actually hold him back?
No, I definitely think that that if Luca got a second person, like you said, Porzingis, he had so much potential, but he's just a shell of himself, like you said. So Luca didn't have that extra guy. Dude, I don't know about Zach Levine because Zach Levine is kind of like a Luca type to an extent.
Mhm.
Maybe not the same anymore, but he still is. But if you got somebody like DeAndre Ayton, where you could run a pick and roll, or you run a play to where Luca drives and dishes type deal, dude, that would be scary. Or if you get some type of a shooting guard around him, I know technically he's, I guess, considered the small forward shooting guard considered, but if you got somebody who's a true shooting guard, Brunson drives dishes to Luca, Luca drives dishes to that guy. Something to that effect.
So Bradley Beal is very loyal to the Warriors, but he does have his player option. What do you think would a Luca Bradley Beal combo could look like? Is that a finals team right there?
I think it could be for sure. Same concept. Where are you going to put him? You know what I mean? It's like, sorry, I got a little
No,
tickle.
you're good.
So it's like, what position are you looking to fill? Are you going to put
Okay.
Luke at the one and let him facilitate? Or are you going to do him at the 2-3, let a point guard kind of rotate, dish, Luca does his thing? So it's kind of where you want to go, that type of deal.
Yeah, PJ Tucker, who's going to have his own player option after this season, is definitely going to be a nice little pickup for anybody. And hell, that might be something the Mavs might look. Just those smart contracts that you're interested in picking up rather than going as big as what they're going to be paying
Yeah,
Luca.
definitely, definitely.
Let's see here. Ooh, come on, internet, don't fail me now. Anyways, you good?
The
You need some
biggest move
water?
I want to see right now is Aiton though. I was actually talking to somebody and man, don't get me wrong, I love Pirtle and I don't know how we would do it, but I would love to see a DeAndre Ayton on the Spurs. I think he would be a monster.
That'd be very interesting. I agree with you. I think it'd be very intriguing. I know there are people that are really high on Pirtle. I just think that what we saw this season was his peak, what he can
See, and that's what I'm
probably his
wondering because
absolute
he
best.
killed it. Yeah, he killed it. And that's what I'm wondering. Is this going to be a block of season again, or is that the highest point of the mountain that we reached? Because I love Pirtle. I mean, I love him with a passion. He's awesome. But what do we get out of him?
I mean, hopefully a first round pick. But I mean, I would hope. I mean, I think DeAndre Ayton would be a huge step up. Are you any concerned about his, I guess, his character assassination so far? Do you think like he's a bit of a diva, like some reports are portraying him to be?
Uh, to be serious, no, I don't think so. You think about it like this: who did the Suns pay? Right? Um, they could have easily done something to pay all three of them. And I know that's complicated to say, but there are ways around it. There are ways to pay people. So why did they only pay those two instead of all three? So to me, I would be upset too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Just it's kind of like a okay, I thought I was doing really good for y'all. What's going on type deal. So I know he's frustrated. I don't think that's who he actually is because he still did play pretty decent. Um, but I definitely see what you're saying about what it could be for sure.
Now we're gonna see again. We're gonna go back to the finals here. We're gonna see the Warriors. We're gonna see the Celtics. They are honestly two beasts, and with their young core, I'm gonna ask you this, Trey. Is this the final run for the Warriors, or do you think they have more in them after the season?
Man, I've been saying it was the final run for the Warriors. I'm just over them winning. But no, man, if they keep the same talent they have now, again, same concept. We never know how the offseason is going to be. Um, but if they keep the same people, I could see them making another run. Yeah,
What do you feel about the? It's not necessarily well. It's not rumors. It's like just like Twitter talk. Would you feel like the Warriors feel good about trading away Clay or something like that, and pushing Poole to becoming the second Splash Brother?
I could
How do
see
you feel
that.
about that?
I could definitely see that happening. Um, I'd feel bad for Clay, but then at the same time, I'm like, I mean, Clay's already got his rings. Go get your money. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, I guess, both sided on that. I definitely do see them trying to push Poole more, like I was mentioning earlier.
Hmm.
They're definitely trying to turn him into that other Splash Brother, for sure. So you do kind of feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, if I was in Clay's shoes, I'd be like, okay, I already got pretty much everything I need, especially if they get this last one right here.
Hmm.
Like it's kind of like, okay, I'm chilling the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Let me go get some money real quick. If I can help the team out, sweet. If not, I'm chilling.
Where does a title victory put a Jason Tatum in his career at the age of
Ooh,
25
ooh.
or 24? Actually, sorry.
I was gonna say I thought he was 20, turning 25.
Yeah, turning 25.
Man, I mean he's a stud. I'm really curious to see where his career takes him for sure. I don't know if it'll always be with Boston, but I would hope to see that because the dude he's a monster. So
Yeah, I think personally for me a title would be big for him, especially since you haven't seen the Celtics win a title in a little over 10 years, about 14 years
yeah,
now, since they last beat the Lakers. Now, legacy wise, where does this title win and possible Finals MVP put Steph all time?
go, bro. Greatest shooter of our generation.
Oh, I thought you meant
Uh,
actual like goat
oh
goat.
no no
You know,
no no
it's like
no! Like greatest shooter of our generation. Just
okay,
goat in the sense of the dude's a cold blooded killer, bro. Like and again, I hate him with a passion because it's just so frustrating to watch him
he's not in a
play.
Spurs uniform. I hate him.
God, dude, it's just frustrating to watch him play. There's sometimes you're like, dude, there's no way he can hit that, and then he pulls it, and you're like, no, dude, what are you doing? Like, how? But no, greatest shooter of our generation, one like hands down. The dude's cold.
If he wins this title, he becomes the seventh man ever to win 4 NBA titles, 2 MVPs. That list, of course, is joining Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Wilt, Kareem, Tim Duncan, Magic Johnson. I mean, those are some big shoes to like, or that's a big company to join.
Oh yeah,
Overall, do you put him top 10, top 5? Where would you put him if he wins
you
this?
talking about overall?
Yeah.
Man, I'd have to, I'd have to say top 15. I don't know about top 10. That's kind of tough,
Okay.
but I could see top 15 for sure.
So what is hesitating you from putting him top 10?
Uh, to be honest with you, I'm not sure. I guess just the people that I've seen before him. Uh, my list kind of changes sometimes. uh,
Same.
yeah, but I would definitely put him top 15. Just again, greatest shooter of our generation, hell of an athlete, won multiple championships. I mean, just he's definitely up there for sure.
I think I have to throw him into the top 10 if he does win this one. It's just his championship pedigree is really unquestionable at this point. What he's done for the organization. Yes, the fans can be as annoying as Cowboy fans. Let's be honest.
I
And
plead the
we're in
fifth on that one.
Texas. We're in Texas. You don't have to plead the fifth. You know the truth. We all know the truth. Stephen A. Smith says it every day. But I think I would put him in there. I don't think I'd put him above Tim Duncan. For me, Tim Duncan's top 5. Sorry
Oh
to
yeah,
anybody who disagrees.
I'd say that.
But he's top 5 for me. Steph would be into the top 10 for sure. By the way, I wouldn't be kicking Kobe out. I know a lot of people have like Kobe at 9 or 10. I'm just like, did y'all watch basketball?
No,
Just so. Trey, any final thoughts going into this finals matchup, which begins on Thursday? What are your final thoughts going, for this game 1, for the whole series, really?
Again, man, I'm just excited. I really hope it's a good series. I really, man, in the back of my mind, I'm afraid for a sweep or a gentleman sweep. I really am, and I don't want to see that. I would hate to see that in the finals. I would just, but yeah,
It's for you, the Warriors, that their championship pedigree that good, because they don't have KD this time. There's not going to be an easy run the same way that they had.
They don't need KD. They have too much talent, anyways, man.
That's true.
Again, this last series that they played is just, now, mind you, again, we talked about who they were playing. That does make a factor. So obviously things change, but just, man, they didn't miss, man. They were cold.
I'll be like you. My brain says Warriors in 6. My heart says Celtics in 7. I truly believe that even though we've seen how great the Warriors have been, right? They had a 5-game pretty much gentleman's sweep against Luka and the Mavs. They overcame the Grizzlies, even though Ja was hurt for the last 3 games.
And could you imagine that? That was my biggest thought, is if Ja didn't get hurt, where would that series go?
To deter before I continue my point, was it a dirty play by Jordan Poole, or was it something else that caused that injury for Ja?
I'll leave that up to everybody else deciding that one.
No, we are live right now. I need you to tell me your thoughts. I don't care about yours. I don't care about yours.
I don't know if it was. It's like one of those plays. Same concept with the Peyton Jr. injury. Like, I don't think it was a dirty play. Like, he didn't. I don't think he did it on purpose. But it's one of those, you sit there and you look and you're like, damn, could you have just gone a different route on that? And maybe same concept as, which obviously everybody, or at least in my opinion, the Zaza Pachulia to Kawhi Leonard. Sometimes you can look at it and be like, was it a dirty play? Like, actually, I just saw the replay the other day, and I'm like, man, was it a dirty play? Like, was he kind of sliding in on purpose, or was it just him going down and you see him look for the shot? You know what I mean? So it's one of those, I want to say it's not dirty, but then part of me is like, I mean, they know what they're doing.
Zaza, a cheap shot will always live rent-free in my head, knowing that I think the Spurs would have beaten the Warriors that series.
Oh, 100%.
But,
yeah, 100%.
So going back to what I was saying, God, what the hell was I saying? I think the Celtics honestly have prepped well for this. They've beat, as a stat that they put up on ESPN and something I shared for the story for the Bullet Picture Sports, they beat their last 3 demons, which is pretty much the teams that beat them, eliminated them the last 3 years.
I like that one too.
They beat the Miami Heat, the Brooklyn Nets, the Milwaukee Bucks. Yep. They got them all. They honestly, between the 2 teams, obviously, had the tougher challenge.
Oh, 100%.
Even sweeping the Nets, that was tough. The beautiful spin move from the smart pass
to finish game 2
to beating a Giannis who was on beast mode, and he just needed a Chris Middleton to overcome the Celtics. Yep. Jimmy Buckets, playoff Jimmy, is just an animal, and they survived.
Yep. And they got Lowry back too.
Yep. Celtics survived, and they had the toughest road to get here. I think mentally and physically, this 4-day rest will prep them ready for a Warriors team, a championship Warriors team that is ready to be back on the mountaintop.
Oh, for sure.
I think we and a lot of people would agree internally it's Warriors, but emotionally we want the Celtics to win just because you like to see the underdog sometimes pull it through against the juggernaut, giant that is, like Warriors or
Yeah.
well before the Chiefs, but no, yeah, not anymore.
Well, and like you said too, it's been so long since the Celtics have actually won, so it's like cool. We get to see some new blood, winning the championship. So that's the biggest thing for me too.
Absolutely. I think that'll wrap it up for the basketball portion of it. Trey, just for my own curiosity, so everybody has you here and live. How are you feeling about the Denver Broncos this season, brother? How are you feeling about them?
Well then, dude, I'm actually super super ecstatic, man. A lot of the interviews I've been like reading and all the posts I've been seeing, a lot of people are saying that the dynamic Russ has was comparable to when Peyton joined the Broncos, and we all know how that turned out.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying Peyton came in with the tucked in shirt, button up shirt, tucked in and backpack ready to roll, that type of stuff. They said Russ is the exact same way. Um, and what's cool too is a lot of the receivers, are saying that they can actually see what's going on now. Now, don't get me wrong, no shade towards Drew Lock, no shade towards Teddy, because I still felt like Drew Lock should have got his shot personally. That's just me. Um, but I mean, Russ is Russ, bro. So, I mean, great quarterback. End of story.
Yeah.
So I'm real excited. I think we did add some key features to our defense, which our front four kind of hurt us this past season. So we got Gregory, which is huge. I just hope his attitude doesn't, you know, that type of thing. But man,
Stays laser focused.
yeah, I'm super super ecstatic this year.
Are they winning the AFC West?
I think we can. The only reason I'm kind of hesitant is because the Raiders and the freaking Chargers made huge moves as well. Um, the Chiefs kind of lackadaisical on that end. They lost their big threat. They still have Kelsey, obviously, but I think we have potential, if not first, second. So I think at the minimal we'll make the wild card.
Okay. Are you going to any games this year?
I really want to. I actually they play in LA on Christmas, and I really want to go to that.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Right?
I know pandemic year I bought tickets for Chargers at Patriots. No, Patriots at Chargers for SoFi Stadium. The one they beat them 45-0, but of course pandemic said nope. Don't
Yeah,
go to SoFi. So
yeah.
I would hope to later future go see that. I definitely want to make a trip to hopefully Tom Brady doesn't retire again and then again and again. Because I do need to go buy a Bucks ticket to go see him one more time.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool to see, Tom Brady play for a different team for you, I'm sure. So
It should be insane. Viviana bought me the Bucks jersey, so at least I can sneak in there. And then once the
right.
game's over, I take it off and the Patriots jersey's on. Like, what's up, bitches?
Yeah.
But anyways, Trey, any last thoughts before we close out the show tonight?
No, man, I'm just excited for football season to be here. Every time, the NBA playoffs is finishing up, you know what's starting. So this is my kind of year right here, and just ready, man. Just
It's
ready.
gonna be a quiet summer though. Like, how are you gonna be feeling the next essentially 2 months until football season does start?
Just watching, bro. Watching those highlights, watching those OTAs, watching, all the little stuff that these guys are posting. I just, man, I'm excited.
Same man. I can't wait to see how this final series goes. What happens for the Spurs and other NBA teams in the draft and the free agency, and then we go
Exactly.
into fantasy football, and then we got the freaking red zone and everything going on for football season. It's gonna be
Because think
very
about it,
exciting.
with the draft itself too, we have what, ninth, 20th, and 25th or something like that, right? I think it's
With the 38th, yep, all that. That's correct.
so it's like, man, we got to make moves now. That's what I'm saying.
Do we trade up to the top three?
Uh, we could. I just don't know who we'd get. I want to say because everybody's. What are your thoughts on that Gonzaga kid? That's my question because that's who everybody's saying that he's going number one.
Chet.
Yeah.
Uh, I rather have Jabari or Paolo
Okay.
personally. I like them more because they're more. I think they're more basketball ready. Chet's nice. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of the skinny centers. I'm
Yeah.
just not. It's just you're gonna get bullied, bro. Like these centers that you're gonna have to compete against are gonna be knocking you down.
Yeah.
So I would rather have a Jabari or a Paolo. I mean, or people run into Paolo and call him Patrick Mahomes. But anyways, all right, man. Well, Trey, thank you for coming on, man. Hope
Always,
to
bro.
have you. Hope to have you on soon again because your takes are awesome to hear. Different from what I hear from Art, from Marco, from my brother-in-law Alex. It's definitely nice to hear. So hopefully we can get you on be more of a regular now. But I know our kids might also distract us sometimes. Shut up. But Trey, thanks, man. Where can the people find you? Anything you like to promote? Anything you like to throw out there for yourself or for family or friends or anything like that?
I mean, Trigger Trey Perk on IG, but man, other than that, just chilling, man. Just chilling, working. That's about it.
Awesome, guys. And guys, y'all know where to find us on Instagram and Twitter. Find us on Instagram at Puro Pinche Sports, on Twitter, Pinche Sports Pod. Guys, for Trey Parker, I am Jose Garza. We are Puro Pinche Sports, and we are out.